So for those of you who had questions about how I handle my stage performance, listen, that's my stage performance, and I'm unapologetic about it, Vivica. I'm unapologetic about that stage that I go on.
Vivica who?
Vivica A. Fox. I'm unapologetic about
by Vivica A. Fox.
Come on, let me see what kind of juice you got. Come on, come on.
I would like to see it.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Welcome to another brand new episode of the Kris Avalon Show.
Unfiltered, filter.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. I'm your host, Kris Avalon, and basically what this show is, as y'all know, if y'all been watching every week, we were off last week because, you know, it's a holiday, but we basically just sit there, I just get my unfiltered opinions on all the things that's going on in Hot Topics, and as well as LGBTQ news. So, without further ado, how you doing? And yes, hashtag, please follow, click like, subscribe, all that good stuff, share with your friends. You can also comment because this is live. So, once again, welcome. I don't know exactly when we're going to start getting on Mixer and Anchor. I think probably next week. We're still trying to figure some things out, working on that. I'm still trying to get on Instagram Live, but they playing in my face. Facebook and all that crap, y'all playing with me. Because it's like, whenever I'm doing fine, it's like any little thing that, and I even see my friends recently talk about this, how it's like, any little thing you post, all of a sudden they have these algorithms that literally will say it's against community standards. One of my friends said that they got flagged for a violent photo. It was basically a bunch of friends hugging. I'm like, who's coming up with this crap? They're literally sitting at a table hugging. Apparently that's violence. You can kill somebody from hugging, but y'all ain't got nothing to say when people are posting in private messages on social media how they don't go shoot people at a school, and y'all leave that shit up. Make that make sense. Tell your algorithms make that make sense, by the way. But nevertheless, we're not here to go on that. That's not the rant I'm coming on here for. I'm gonna rant later on. So keep yourselves tuned for that when I pick my top topic that we're gonna rant about. It's our number one topic, by the way. So yeah, we got a lot of tea to talk about. We're gonna talk about Miss NENE Leakes, her own phrase, close your legs to married men. She might want to take that advice because apparently she out here laying low and spreading it wide with married men. And this ain't the first time, allegedly, she ain't been doing that because Greg Leakes' daughter done said that about her when it was with her dad. You know, the dealing part of Greg Leakes, I should say. We got some tea on TASHA K. We got some tea on Lil Nas X rant about the BET Awards pretty much being anti-LGBTQ. And we're going to talk about Laverne Cox and this Barbie doll that she has. And apparently there is a politician who's upset that she has her very own Barbie doll. And of course, we're going to talk about MONIQUE and all this other crap that's going on with her. Like, man, y'all, we teased the beginning. Y'all saw it. So without further ado, let's get into these topics. Now, when I was putting the topics and stuff together, right, I don't know what happened. I think it was a lot of going on in my mind. I had two reviews that I was planning on doing. I was going to do Jurassic World Dominion, and I was going to do Fire Island. Now, I did see Fire Island because it was on Hulu last night, and I'll get to that in a second. But I didn't realize that Jurassic World was to come out till next week, so I had to make a quick change. Well, production basically had to make a quick change. But nevertheless, let's get right into it. So I watched Fire Island. I have to say I love the movie. I thought it was cute. It was a queer take on Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. And from what I saw, I thought it was cute. I thought it was a cute movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And you know what? I'm liking that we're sort of getting this renaissance of queer romantic comedies, which I think is not something that I've even seen before. I mean, a lot of the queer independent films that came out back in the day, like in the 90s and 2000s, was always about someone dying of AIDS or someone coming up to terms with their sexuality, always struggling. I like the fact that now we're at a place where, when it comes to queer content, that LGBTQ people are, even though we're still getting those coming of age gay movies, which still irritate me because I'm like, we're so beyond that. One of the things I do enjoy is the thing that we do have fully realized characters who are still trying to figure out where they navigate in the world. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I like Joel Kim Booster. You know, he's a stand-up comic. He is basically about to star in this new show with, and I just saw the trailer yesterday. It's going to be on Apple TV Plus. And I forgot Blue. That's what it's called. With MJ Rodriguez and Maya Rudolph and a bunch of other people there. So Joel Kim Booster is in it as well. I saw the trailer. I cannot wait for that show to come out. It comes out this month. He also has a stand-up special coming out on Netflix. I think the week before the big I think in like 2 or 3 weeks. Don't quote me on it. Y'all can look it up. I'm not doing the promotions for Netflix because they barely promote their own shit. But I'm just letting y'all know what's out there. But yeah, so the movie basically, just to sum it up, it's about a group of queer best friends who gather in the Fire Island Pines for the annual week of love and laughter, but when a sudden change of events jeopardizes their summer in gay paradise, their bonds as a chosen family are pushed to the limit. So basically, you know, Margaret, they basically go out to Fire Island every year because Margaret Cho's character owns a house out there. Because, you know, everybody knows that unless you got some coins and white and older, those are the ones who are pretty much buying up the shares. For the most part, people are pretty much putting their coins together and renting out the houses and stuff out there. And as someone who grew up, you know, in most of my adult years going to Fire Island, I related a lot to this movie. Like basically when you're going out to the ferry and just get into the island, you see people waving, you wave back, and then you get off and you gotta go to the market and get your food or whatever. But the smart ones, like myself and a lot of my friends, we bring a cooler. We get like the food that we needed to get, and we get up in there and we go out to the beach, and we go to the parties, the underwear parties, whatever was going on throughout the weekend, and you pretty much just do it up. That's basically what you did at Fire Island. And you get to see all that in the movie, but I definitely enjoy the dynamic between a lot of the characters, particularly Noah and Howie. No, Joel Kim Booster, who wrote the script, plays Noah, and Bowen Yang as Howie. Bowen Yang, you know, from SNL, he basically comes out from California every year for them to all kind of gather at the shared Fire Island. So then they're kind of making this pact because Bowen Yang's character, Howie, I guess Noah's trying to get him laid because I guess he was going through some things. I don't want to give too much away in case you guys haven't seen it yet. So he makes a pact. Well, if you hook up with somebody on the weekend, I won't hook up unless you hook up with somebody. So then he meets this guy who's named Charlie, who's a doctor. I always like to say that when I do that accent. And they start kind of getting together, but Charlie's friends are pieces of shit. Especially Cooper. Could not stand him with that shit-eating grin he would always have on his face. Wanted to hit him so many times. Dialed on TV and punch him in his face in the movie. And then there was a whole thing with Dex, who apparently was kind of connected with them, and there's a shady thing that he does to one of the characters in the movie that I was like, bitch. But this is stuff that really happened. Basically has to do with revenge porn, so I'll just put that out there. But my favorites, my overall favorite characters was Keegan and Luke. They were the most hilarious two out of the whole group because they were, the messy, sassy queens of there, and we love those stereotypes. And I also like the fact that they incorporate a lot of the stereotypes, but then when you thought the movie would go one way, it kind of went a different way. And it was good to see Conrad Ricamora up in here, who was a lawyer, who plays Will, and that whole dynamic with him. He was playing like this uptight guy and how awkward he is. So they played a lot of those characters, and it was great to see like a play on, excuse me, Daniel Nardicio's underwear party. Shout out to him, because he always had those infamous underwear parties at Fire Island. So kind of seeing like, and I also think this movie is going to really bring people out to come and see Fire Island. Like, because I always think like people aren't really aware of places or things that have to do with certain communities or nightclubs and this, that, and the third. But I remember back in the day when Sex and the City would put a lot of spots on the map, and because people would watch the show, they basically would go to those places and want to go and check those places out. Because I remember when they shot a scene at the original XL in Sex and the City, mad people would go out to XL to that particular place because of the show. So they became like these places that people want to go visit. I feel like it's the same thing. Like people aren't aware of Fire Island as much. I'm aware of it because, if you're a gay in New York, you're aware of that. Or if you're a city person, you're around a lot of diverse groups of people, you're aware of a lot of those places. So you're going to want to go. Say that 10 times fast. To visit those type of places. So I think that's going to draw a lot more people. And so there's going to be enough parties going on this year to bring y'all out there. I know next week is Fire Island Bear Weekend. So I felt like a man with a little extra. Well, some extra between the legs could be on the waist. Definitely go and visit that. A couple of friends of mine are going to be DJing a lot of events out there. So, and hosting parties out there. So definitely go and check out if you're going to go to Fire Island Bear Weekend. So definitely check that out and stuff. But yeah, so overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think was it a perfect movie? No, but it was cute. It's a cute, adorable film. It's definitely something that's going to keep with a smiling face. You're going to laugh. And sometimes we need that. We don't need serious shit all the time. Sometimes I just want to, check my brain into a drawer and just have a good time. Hey, Linnea, he said there's actually a tour that comes to the sex shop I work at because of Sex and the City. I told you. Sex and the City was one of those shows that definitely a lot of people would come to New York and think that New York was a lot like that. That was one side of New York, child. You had to have money to, But that was, it's always about lavishness and all that other stuff. But I did like the fact that the girls on Sex and the City did kind of go to regular places too. So it balanced it out. As I started rewatching the old episodes, I kind of started to see that. But then they started to get a little too glamorous. But anyway, yeah. So definitely check out Fire Island if you can. It's on Hulu if you have it. And kudos to Hulu, actually. And I love a lot of the streaming services, before we move on to the next topic, I love that a lot of the streaming services are really putting a lot of effort into supporting LGBTQ content. And I'm really looking forward to Bros coming out this year with Billy Eichner. Definitely going to go to the theater and see that. Now, let's move on to our next topic, which I believe is... Wait, what is it? Oh, wait. I am prepared. Oh, yeah, Johnny Depp versus the whole Amber Heard situation. Now, I'm going to be honest. When I first heard about this story, the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard, I'm going to be honest. I did not keep up with it. I didn't keep up with them like I don't keep up with fucking Kardashians. I was just like, oh my God, if the shit don't get out of my time. But because it's over, that's the only reason why I'm talking about it. It's the only reason why I care, because it's done. Sort of. Because now, Amber, from what I heard, is repealing the case. Was it appealing? I don't know how to speak today, apparently. She's going to be, hearing that she's going to appeal in the defamation case. Now, for what I didn't know, because I don't keep up with a lot of these Hollywood marriages, because I don't care. From what I heard was, Amber had signed an NDA when she was married to Johnny not to speak on things that were going on in their marriage. However, I believe she wrote an op-ed for one of the newspapers. I believe it was the New York Times. Do not quote me on this. I do not have this in front of me. I'm thinking on the top of my head. So if I'm incorrect, let me know. But I believe that it was the New York Times that she wrote an op-ed for. Or one of those fucking publications. It was a big one. And I believe that op-ed, because it was coming out around the whole time of Me Too and Time's Up and all that stuff, and I guess Amber wanted to have her moment and be a part of it. She put it out there. It affected Johnny's career for the past 6 years. He couldn't get work. He was removed. He couldn't do Pirates of the Caribbean. I think they were going to do another one. Now I'm hearing they're going to reboot it with Margot Robbie. They were talking about, well, he was supposed to be in the Fantastic Beasts movie. They replaced him with, oh my God, Mads Mikkelsen. By the way, that was relatively quick that the new Fantastic Beasts movie is already on HBO Max. I don't care. I've never liked any of the Fantastic Beasts movie, and I don't watch anything to do with that transphobic See You Next Tuesday. The one that wrote all them tight-ass books. So I'm not watching that. So, and I've always heard that they're not really good movies anyway. So it's sparing me the dread of having to sit through those type of films anyway. So I'm not going to sit there and watch it. But so apparently her op-ed affected Johnny's career and he couldn't get work. I mean, quite as it's kept with his discography, his filmography, he's pretty much set for life. He doesn't have to make another damn movie. But I guess when you're on an island and a bunch of other things, you got to be able to pay those bills. So he decided to take her to court and sue her over her, I guess, breaching that NDA, which is why they have you sign them for a reason. So after the whole back and forth, let's find about her shitting in the bed and then have a drug addiction, which we already knew, or maybe I knew, but a lot of people didn't know or didn't pay attention. Please, all that mumbling you thought he was doing as Dr. Jack Sparrow, as Jack Sparrow, y'all thought that was acting? No. I mean, he's a rocker. He does music. He hung out with Keith Richards. You thought he was doing that shit sober? No, Johnny Depp's a full-on drug. Well, I'm not gonna go there, but y'all got the picture. So it was revealed that he has a drug and alcohol problem, which I believe that Hollywood was also trying to distance themselves from Johnny Depp because of apparently it was affecting his ability to work on set. But you know, a lot of times in Hollywood, they tend to look the other way anyway, because they have their big cash cow on the set, so they try to make it work whichever way they can. But at the same time, they're trying to distance themselves from it. So long story short, as I was setting all this up, after everything, she was rewarded $2 million because they found out that he was a wife beater. And he was awarded $15 million in his defamation case because she was found to not be entirely truthful with a lot of things she was saying in the case. So now the jury's verdict, which found both parties liable, was reached Wednesday at the Virginia court after the panel spent 3 days deliberating over more than 6 weeks of grueling, emotional, and highly contradictory testimony in a case, focused on So it's in the Washington Post. But yeah, so the op-ed was written in the Washington Post. Now, Depp was awarded $10 million of compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages, although the judge in the case later capped Depp's punitive damages at $350,000 in accordance with Virginia law. Now, while the jury awarded Heard $2 million in compensatory damages and nothing in punitive damages, Depp had sought $50 million in damages, with Heard countersuing for $100 million. Now, how y'all picking the biggest damn number when you know damn well Amber Heard ain't got that kind of money? Why does it cap? I don't know how she gonna pay him this $15 million when she ain't even worth that. She's worth $7 million. So, girl, you better file for Chapter 11. Speaking of which, you doing this? Tasha K did the same shit with for lying with Cardi B, and now she's trying to appeal. Well, we're gonna get to that story later on in the show. Now, Heard was present in the courtroom for the verdict while Depp watched on a TV from the UK, where he had traveled after the testimony ended Friday to perform with legendary rocker Jeff Beck for a show in Sheffield and two in Royal Albert Hall in London. So he wasn't there because, like I said, he was touring. Now, Heard did watch the verdict read by the judge off a list of the jury's responses to her instructions with little emotional response, silently looking down throughout the judge's reading of the verdict. The disappointment I feel today is beyond words, she said in a statement. I'm heartbroken, and the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to my disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. I'm even more disappointed with this verdict means for other women. It's a setback. It sets the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. I believe Johnny's attorney succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. Well, you saying that, how a woman speaking up, blah, 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 that would be true for many a case. But you signed a NDA, which means you were not supposed to speak out about the abuse that you were dealing with at the hands of Johnny Depp. I understand the situation. Don't get me wrong. I believe all women should be able to speak out whatever they can. But if you go sign a paper that prevents you from doing that, it's legally binding. Unfortunately, the law is what it is. And I understand, like, you want to be able to do what you want to do and speak out and speak up, and you want to speak for other women, and you want to become the social justice warrior, like you want to take over an old girl's position, the one that Evan Rachel Wood that was getting abused at the hands of Marilyn Manson. But guess what? She could speak out because she didn't sign no NDAs. She didn't have to deal with any of that extra paperwork. You signed an NDA. This is what I'm hearing. So if you signed that, it's legally binding, which is why he took you to court. It's been proven, yes, he abused you in the marriage. We saw the videos of him throwing things and slamming cabinets and cussing and doing some other stuff, which I will say there were times when we saw that she was provoking him and stuff, but regardless of whether or not she provoked him, you don't never put your hands on nobody. I'm gonna get to the whole thing with, you know, Jada Pinkett's in the news again. We're gonna bring that up later on when we talk about Will and the whole Chris Rock situation. Regardless of what people say to you, you do not have a right to physically assault someone. So yeah, she's worth $7 million. She don't. So the man goes, "Heard is worth $7 million." How the hell did that happen? I never knew her name until this trial. Well, it could be from Aquaman. She's done little other things, but yes. And this is the point that I want to get to. So what does this mean for the both of them? Because now that this case is over, she's talking about appealing. What does this mean for their careers? I honestly feel that Amber's career is done. I don't think Hollywood's going to want to work with her ever again. I mean, to be honest, she really was a low-level actor anyway. I mean, she wasn't a bad actor, but her career wasn't, it's not on the level of a Margot Robbie. I'm not even going to compare to Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman has 30 years of work to put into being an actor. But she's not on the level of a Margot Robbie. She's not on the level of, you know, so many of these young up-and-coming girls that have been acting for like the past 7, 8, I'll say almost the past decade. So she's not there. Like, she appeared in things, and I already heard there's a whole petition where they want to get rid of her. They want her cut from Aquaman 2 and replaced with, I heard, Emilia Clarke. I don't know who that is. She was on Game of Thrones. The Khaleesi. Well, I hate her in that last season, by the way, but it is. But I like Emilia Clarke. I was like, she would have been a good Mira. But I don't know. They said that her role is not that big in the new film. I don't know if they're going to be willing to look. Warner Brothers has a lot on their plate right now with all the drama going on behind the scenes. You got Amber Heard with this foolishness. You got Ezra Miller with their foolishness. And them talking about that this looks like the Flash is going to be this great film. And they're pretty confident about the film, even though Ezra been acting a whole fool out in Hawaii for the past couple of months. So what does this happen? So what happens with the career? Like I said, I don't think Amber is going to be able to recover from this. I believe that she's going to have a stain on her by Hollywood. And it's not even whether or not the industry is going to want to work with her. It's the court of public opinion. And there are so many people out there who unfortunately despise Amber Heard over all of this. And it's not because she shit the damn bed. It's a whole lot of stuff. And have you seen the people out there when the song they were giving standing ovations to Johnny Depp at the concert that he just did with Jeff Beck? You know, they were outside the courtroom with their little signs like, child, y'all should be out protesting, you know, these damn gun. Well, then again, this is the UK. They don't have a problem like we do. So if this was a trial in the United States, I'd be like, y'all need to have that same energy for these gun laws and this, that, the other that's going on, these mass shootings. But they don't have to deal with that over the UK. I believe guns have been outlawed, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, nevertheless, I don't think she's going to be able to recover. Now, Johnny Depp, I do believe that the majors are not going to want to work with him. I don't see Warner Brothers wanting to do anything with him. You know, they have that situation with him and the Fantastic Beasts situation, whatever was happening behind the scenes and the drugs and Pirates of the Caribbean, all those films. So I don't think the big studios, like the Warner Brothers or the Marvels or, you know, any of those, the Paramounts, I don't see them wanting to do stuff with him. I feel like what he's going to have to do is probably start over, kind of like March of Our Lives rally is June 11th in DC. In case you want to know. But anyway, if you want to do some, I feel like he's going to have to go the Robert Downey Jr. route, which means he's going to have a start from the bottom and crawl his way up. Oh yeah, so that's for like gun rights and stuff. So there's going to be a rally on June 11th in DC. So if y'all want to go out there, let me just throw that out there. If y'all want to march and have these gun laws changed because these politicians are in the pockets of the NRA and don't want to do what they need to do, definitely go out there and support if y'all can. But back to the story. Now, and he's probably going to have to, you know, start from the bottom and maybe start doing a couple of independent films of really proving himself as an actor, and that he can stay sober and really be present and show up at work and do what he needs to do, unless he doesn't want to do that. Like, he wants to just, you know, continue playing with his band, or maybe he feels like he has enough money. Because, you know, Johnny Depp has a pretty thick film career. Like, remember, You know, he's 21 Dumb Street, the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, his career spans, I guess, could I say 40 years? I think he's been acting for over 4 decades. So, I think Johnny will be fine. I think people will take more of a chance on him than they will on her. And it's unfortunate, but you know, I feel like men to get a chance to do it, of course, but unfortunately, it's the way the cookie crumbles. So, if anything else crazy comes out from this story, I'll keep you guys abreast of what's going on. But for now, I'm ready to move on and talk about more important things. So let's talk about Bethany Frankel. Because we got a couple of tea that we need to get to. Now I found this story interesting. Bethany hasn't been on the Real Housewives of New York in a while, and she's pretty much as Michael Rappaport calls her, the GOAT of the Real House. He calls her he does call the GOAT. I call her the GOAT. He calls her the Michael Jordan of the franchise, which I will agree with, because she's always been, out of all the girls, the most successful. She is the MVP of not only RHONY, but of all Bravo, which is why she don't need to go back. So this story, people feel a little mixed. And I have to say, I'm kind of on the fence about it too. But let me just tell you what the story is, because I know I'm like, what to talk about? Now, former Real Housewives of New York City star Bethany Frankel set to be honored with the Reality Royalty Award, excuse me, at this year's MTV Movie and TV Awards. Now, that's cute and everything. But according to reports, philanthropist and reality star Bethany Frankel, 51, who received the award from MTV during its Movie and TV Awards unscripted show, the Reality Royalty Award recognized the legacy of reality greatness. Beginning last year, the first recipient was presented to the cast of Jersey Shore Family Vacation in 2021. Now, we all know that Bethany got her start doing reality TV. Before she was on the Real Housewives of New York, you may notice that, or maybe you don't, because many people watch. I think the show lasted maybe 1 or 2 seasons. She got her start in 2005 on The Apprentice Martha Stewart. There was a spinoff of The Apprentice where Martha Stewart basically did her own version, and it was like people who were, I guess, it kind of had a little Shark Tank vibe to it. And then she wound up going on the Real Housewives of New York City for 8 out of the 13 seasons, where we actually got to see her build her skinny girl margarita empire. Now, while I do agree that Bethany definitely deserves this award, but a lot of people aren't feeling that way, because they feel like, well, wait, she's from Bravo. Why is she on MTV getting an award for reality royalty when there's so many people who have paved the way for and kept reality TV show, like their networks and everything, you know, built all of that, but you're giving it to Bethany, the skinny white girl? Why are you giving it to her? When NENE Leakes, Tammy Roman, New York, as in Tiffany New York Pollard, so many other women have come before her and have really built the empires and paved the way. And I'm gonna give you a reason as to why I think how they're looking at it and why I can see both sides. But I want to read you this tweet, because I was like, this definitely hit the nail on the head. So a legal sojourner wrote the following tweet. Bethany was chosen over NENE, Tiffany Pollard, and Tammy Roman, who's been on reality TV for almost 30 years. Bethany Frankel is a racist and a transphobe, and you're doing this during Pride Month at MTV. Disgraceful, disgusting, and transphobic. Now, I forgot about the whole Bethany Frankel making the whole transphobic. Oh, I guess it was. I don't remember exactly what it is, and I don't want to start mispronouncing pronouns or whatever the case was. But if I could pretty much sum it up, there was a situation that happened where there was a trans child that went to her daughter Bryn's school, and I guess Bethany had said something that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, which she, I guess, using the wrong pronouns and a whole bunch of stuff, and she was being very stank with her response to how people were coming at her over her response over the trans child at her daughter's school. So, I get that point, but Another person wrote, Biv, what? Nah, this rig. Who in the hell is in charge, bro, for real? Bethany Frankel, this joke, WT, Tiffany Roman, Tiffany Pollard, NENE leaks a lot more. A lot of people are saying that. Even Carlos King wrote, and y'all know Carlos King, the legendary producer. You know, has the Nightcap with Carlos King, has produced, you know, the earlier seasons of the Real Housewives, Love and Marriage Huntsville, all those shows. You know, he's been around for a minute. So he wrote, I love Bethany, but was Tiffany Pollard, Tammy Rowland, and NENE Leakes busy? We talking about this on my podcast, chat, for future episodes. Now here's the thing. Child, they going in. I'm thinking that MTV is looking at this because she's a philanthropist. She's got a lot of money. You know, with her working with the Black Lives Matter. Well, we already heard the tea about the Black Lives Matter movements and the exchanging of money and things that was going on over there. That's a whole other conversation for another day. Don't stay on topic. And then how she's talking about how she's been giving aid and relief for the Ukraine. Meanwhile, don't we got inflation happening over here? Like chicken is still expensive. We still got gun issues going on in this country with kids, people getting killed in mass shootings every week, it seems. But y'all want to keep aiding other countries with they shit. Can we focus on what's going on in this fucked up country? No shade to what's going on outside the world. But you know what? As the United Nations, we just the least united. Excuse me. You know, child, my throat just been, I've been coughing a lot lately. And it ain't the 19 because I just got a COVID test. And she came back negative. So, I know you can't say this, but child, I don't get monetized on here, so I just be saying all this shit. But anyway, so I get everybody's gripe. Now, I'm thinking they're looking at it from that standpoint that she's got a lot of money, she's a philanthropist, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Everybody else is looking at it from a standpoint of what these other women have done to keep a lot of these networks afloat, which is true. Because we all know that how y'all don't want to pay Black women the money that they're so wholeheartedly deserve, but y'all love exploiting the fuck out of them. And these Black women will show up and show out and entertain you hoes for years, bringing y'all ratings through the roof. More so than a lot of these white shows. But y'all never want to put respect on these women's names. Y'all don't want to respect Tammy. Y'all don't want to put respect on New York's name. And New York has kept VH1 afloat on multiple shows that she had. Now where's she at? Doing shows over on Fucking Out TV. Then you got, you know, NENE Leakes, who've been blacklisted. And out here not closing her legs to married men, allegedly. Getting fired from Bravo. Was speaking out over the shenanigans that was going on over there and acting like a whole fool before all these tea came out. It's a whole other conversation for another day. But nevertheless, regardless of whatever issues that these women have had with these networks, you should still give these women their flowers. I don't even know if I even care enough. I mean, quite frankly, before I heard this, maybe this is a reason to get y'all to watch because they always want to find something controversial to get y'all to watch. Because quiet as it's kept, who's actually going to sit and watch the MTV movie and TV reality, whatever the fuck it's called? I don't even know who's nominated. I'm sure they announced it. I did hear they're going to have 2 hosts doing the show. I think one of them was Vanessa Hudgens and somebody else, I think. But I'm like, I don't know if I care. I don't care about these awards. Like, award shows are so corny now. And we're going to talk about the BET Awards later on because, you know, they snubbing Lil Nas X. And we got a legendary rapper. I got that story coming up too, who's actually Team Lil Nas on this whole story, and agrees with him. We're gonna bring up that rapper later on in the show. Iconic rapper. Give me a little hint. So how do I feel about this? I'm kind of on the fence. While I do agree with everybody that Bethany does deserve the honor. But some people have said this, and this might be a real valid of why MTV is looking at it. Because I give you all the other points. So this person by the name of Tyler Herman, 13, wrote, I think he also took a picture with Andy Cohen. So I'm kind of giving you the side eye with this tweet, but I kind of agree with it. Everyone ripping on at Bethany for her hashtag reality royalty honor, but tell me another reality star that used their platform to do something as good as she has done with Be Strong. I don't see the Kardashians doing anything like that. Bravo, B, well deserved. I mean, didn't you hear? Besides Kim Kardashian losing weight and comparing herself to Christian Bale, a legendary actor, a thespian, someone who put in the work as an actor to justify her losing a couple of pounds, excuse me, to fit in Marilyn Monroe's dress, which the bitch still couldn't fit in because her ass was too damn big. She had the nerve to compare herself to Christian Bale. Ciao. I had to laugh at that. I'm like, this heifer, clearly that peroxide that went to her damn was left on her fucking brain for her to even fix her mouth to say that foolishness. Comparing yourself to Christian Bale, talking about, well, I compare myself to him because he lost the weight for a role. He's playing a character. He puts on weight for a character. Now, as Tom Hanks, that shit fucks up your body after a while. And your health. Which is like you shouldn't be doing all that foolishness. But he was doing it for a role. You were doing it for vanity purpose because you want to be taken seriously so bad. But we all know how you got famous. Just accept it and move on. Hey, Ray J. So, I don't know. At the end of the day, I think I'm just inconclusive on this whole story. Yes, I do agree that these women should be given their flowers, but I don't think I care. Well, I don't. Now I think about it, I don't think I care anymore. Okay, let's move on, child. Because I'm just like, Hey, Bethany, shout out to you. Maybe you can send that award to the Ukraine. Use some gold popcorn. Okay. So, so since we're on the whole topic of the Real Housewives, let's talk about Dubai. Because they've come under fire over some stuff that's going on over there. And you know what? Even though I've already given Andy Cohen the side eye, he even gets even more with this story. So Bravo and executive producer Andy Cohen are under fire for their Real Housewives, new Real Housewives installment, I should say. Shout out to the Jasmine brand for this story, by the way. Now, according to reports, a group of 12 human rights organizations recently banded together, issuing a joint statement disapproving of the network's upcoming reality show. It already aired, so I haven't seen it, and I'm not going to watch it for these exact reasons I'm about to talk about. So the show is called The Real Housewives of Dubai. The letter addressed to Andy Cohen, Bravo, its parent company, NBC Universal, and production company Truly Original accused Real Housewives of covering up the immigrants' legal abuse against women and people of the LGBT plus community. Explaining concerns over filming in the United Arab Emirates, the group wrote the following. We are deeply concerned by your decision to produce and launch the latest edition of the Real Housewives series in Dubai. Dubai is an absolute monarchy that is part of the dictatorship of the United Arab Emirates. Then they went on to continue the following. By setting the Real Housewives franchise inside Dubai, you are helping the UAE dictatorship hide its male rulers' misogyny, legalize homophobia, and mass violence against women. So I see the affidavit here and also the good stuff. Now, further down the letter, the joint organizations offer a list of demands to showcase Bravo's dedication to opposing Dubai's human rights violations. Now, included is that Bravo reveals if the rulers of Dubai funded the program in any way and calls for the network to run disclaimer on every episode, standing firm against Dubai's dictatorship, misogyny, homophobia, women's rights violations, and war in Yemen. So, yeah, they said, number one, reveal whether the rulers of Dubai and the UAE funded and financed the Real Housewives of Dubai in any way. Number two, run a disclaimer, announce the start of each Real Housewives of Dubai episode that you oppose the UAE and Dubai's dictatorship, misogyny, homophobia, women's rights violations, and war in Yemen. And number three, publicly donate a portion of your profits for the Real Housewives of Dubai series to independent human rights organizations that are working to stop the UAE and Dubai dictatorship and human rights violations including its war in Yemen. Okay, well, that's cute and all that they want all that done. However, I don't think Bravo is going to follow through and do it. And I'll tell you why. Because they're more concerned about wanting to follow the rules of the premise of what the Real Housewives is about. Homophobia, transphobia, whatever kind of phobias, aside. How many times have we watched the Real Housewives over the years before we've had accountability culture rear its head? Since this franchise began, where there have been situations where people on the show have said things that were deemed homophobic, but because you love these, and I mean Andy Cohen, loves a lot of these people on the show, excuse me, they tend to just gloss over it and look the other way. Because being entertained by these people and the foolery and the buffoonery is more important than having a moral thing about yourself. And I guess when you're in this industry and the bottom line is money, fuck morals, fuck what the rest of the world thinks. So I don't think anything's gonna happen with this. Like, Dubai is about treating women like crap. Now, will we see that culture explored in the show, or is it just going to be about what the show loves to focus on, which is money and the glitz, the glamour, the diamonds, and how much exploiting wealth, which is what the bottom line of the Real Housewives has always been about. It's always about exploiting the people's wealth on the show. So if we can get beyond that and you start to see through and see the real behind these people, then we'll see. I am kind of curious, just to see what the show's about, just so that way I could have had a more broader outlook on it. But I feel like the only way to protest this, especially if you're very passionate about these things of what the UAE and everybody is saying, protest by not watching. That is as simple as that. Make Real Housewives of Dubai basically like the Real Housewives of DC. Make it a 1 or 2 season thing, a 1 season thing. I think DC did last one, if I remember. It was about the Salahis and all these scandals and stuff. So y'all can do that. But child, if y'all really expecting Andy Cohen to have some kind of moral compass about himself, y'all been waiting a long damn time. Okay, so let's move on. Speaking of, since we're still in the whole housewife situation, let's talk about Latifah Monique Leaks. Apparently, she is out here being accused of being a cheater. That old, somewhere Kim was probably laughing at this shit. But you told her back in the earlier season, close her leg to marry men, trash box. And allegedly, she out here doing the same thing. I mean, that and Greg Leak's daughter went and said the same damn thing about her. But anyway, so NENE will not stand for being called a home wrecker. Real Housewives of Atlanta alum denied snatching her boyfriend, Nyonsala Sayo, from his estranged wife, Malaman Teme Sayo. Child, if I said y'all name wrong, forgive me, but it's a lie. It's a tongue twister. Anyway, who filed a lawsuit claiming Leaks is to blame for her broken marriage. There's a lot going on in the world. I'm already out here, a husband stealer, and this is too much, she said on Instagram Live Thursday. Ain't nobody out here stealing husbands, are they? I would never. The reality star 54 went on to say that she has seen a lot of single people joking that nobody wants to steal nobody else's problems. So nonetheless, I love you guys, she added. Now, Tebe Sayo filed the lawsuit on May 23rd in North Carolina, claiming in the court documents obtained by Page 6 that Leak and Sayo engaged in an ongoing romantic, uninhibited, and adulterous affair without her knowledge or consent. She further alleged that Sayo, a clothing designer, repeatedly lied to her about his whereabouts. The filing explained how Tebe Sayo faced embarrassment, humiliation, and disgrace when Leaks posted intimate pictures with Sayo on social media. Now, Tebe Sayo, who listed the date of their separation as December 17th, 2021, pointed to Instagram photos at the Bravo Celebrity shared on December 15th. of Leaks and Sio celebrating her birthday together prior to the spousal split. As a result of the adulterous relationship between Leaks and Sio, the love and affection which existed between Tim and Sio were alienated, estranged, and destroyed. Now, what I'm getting is that they were separated, but not necessarily divorced. Now, the ex-wife, or soon-to-be, I don't know if they're officially divorced, is seeking $100,000 in damages from Leaks for alienation of affections and criminal conversation. The estranged couple married in November 10, 2016, and share a son, Naomi, who was 11. Now, NENE started dating this guy 3 months after Greg passed away from colon cancer. So they started dating around in December. It's been what, like almost 6-7 months? And so she started supposed to in North Carolina, which I believe was the same, isn't that the same state that that happened? Remember back in the day when Fantasia was messing with the guy from T-Mobile? And he was married to some chick. Child, she was dating something. Talk about low-hanging fruit. You was dating somebody in retail? And you a whole American Idol winner? Girl. But you know, I shouldn't throw shade at people's jobs. As long as you're working, that's all that matters. OnlyFans or T-Mobile, it's a job. Ain't gonna cut no shade on people who employed out in the streets. Anyway, let's get serious. Okay, so I don't necessarily know what the timeline is. If the girl can prove all this stuff in court, then you may have a chance of winning. However, maybe this old boy told NENE something that was completely different than what was the reality. Maybe it was that they were separated but not divorced, and that's what he told NENE, and they hooked up and got together, and she went along with it, and he got with her at a time when she was still feeling a little vulnerable and down, you know, down and out and feeling low and all of that. When you're feeling sad and low. Okay, I don't know. I just went to Spice Up Your Life by the Golden Girls. I mean, the Spice Girls. I said the Golden Girls. Child, what is wrong with you today? Bring it back. Anyway, so I don't know. NENE got a lot of things going on right now. Like, she's got a lawsuit going against Bravo against discrimination. Now you got a lawsuit being thrown in your face over alleged cheating allegations that you messed with a married man. It's just too much. What is happening? I hope that College Hill money you about to make is gonna be enough to sustain what's going on with you, but this is just too messy. And like I said, if the ex-wife or the estranged wife has enough evidence, then I'm sure she'll be able to work this out. But if not, this might be a waste of court time. Because y'all really like wasting our taxpaying dollars, don't y'all? With these frivolous damn lawsuits. Okay, so I'm ready to move on because, child, that was just like something we could just gloss over. Okay, so let's talk about. Oh wait, do I even have it? Oh my God, I don't even have the article here. I think it's the. I'm supposed to go to the Jada Pinkett story. Hold on, please hold. It's not gonna take me long. So we'll grab it in a second. Because I was like, wait a minute, I know I'm missing something. Look, it's live, child. Forgive me. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So Jada Pinkett is finally speaking out. Damn near 5 months later, when we don't care no damn more. At that damn fucking red table about the Oscar slap that had transpired. So she did to set up the whole situation, she set up the whole thing. It was talking about alopecia, which is the thing she's talking about. She has with her hair falling out and stuff. She briefly addressed the Oscar incident between husband Will Smith and Chris Rock. She said, "This is a really important red table talk on alopecia. Considering what I've been through on my own health and what happened at the Oscars, thousands have reached out to me with their stories. I'm using this moment to give our alopecia family an opportunity to talk about what it's like to have this condition and inform people about what alopecia actually is." That's great and all. Now about Oscar night. My deepest thought is that these two intelligent, capable men excuse me, have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile. She added, the state of the world today, we need them both. And we all actually need one another more than ever. Until then, Will and I are continuing to do what we have done for the last 28 years, and that's keep figuring out this thing called life together. Thank you for listening. That whole teleprompter speech that she gave, that was a bunch of bullshit. Okay, number one, girl, you came 8 years late with that post when nobody cares at this point. Number two, you trying to play that narrative. See, she thinks she fucking slick. I ain't claiming her as part of the Virgo community. Girl, we about to throw your ass in the trash. Because you're doing too much. Can somebody go and please go into the Church of Scientology and find Jada from Baltimore and put her back in this girl's body? Because that ain't her. She is not giving me, what's a year? She's not giving me Jada from Baltimore. She's giving me Jada pod bitch from Calabasas. That's what you giving me right now. Like, this is a whole alien right here. Now, what I don't understand about her is that you waited damn near 5 months to talk about this whole Will and Jada situation. I mean, the Will Smith Oscar post, the Oscar slap, which he did it to defend your honor. So clearly there was something going on in their marriage that she was able to pick certain buttons because, Will has had the history of not being able to defend women in his life. And, from his mother being abused. And, so, he said all this. He said it in his book. He's mentioned it in interviews. And a lot of times when you have people who, and I'll speak for myself as well, we Virgos have a way with words. We know how, if we know your triggers, we will manipulate and pluck at them triggers to get a rise out of you because we're good with the mouth. We're, high on the intelligence.
Close your legs to marry. Close your legs to marry men. You heard me? Close your legs to marry. Wow, NENE.
Yes, bitch, close your legs. I love that line, chat. But anyway, I do agree, as also what Linnea said. Vivica did say there was no accountability for her part, and I love that Vivica was out saying it because you know what, and this is why I know a lot of people don't want to give, a lot of time when you get these big celebrities where they want to jump on the bandwagon of, they're a little too Hollywood, they don't want to give their real opinion about stuff. I do applaud Vivica for actually speaking out and be like, these are my peers, these are my friends, but I'm going to be real with y'all and say all this. Like, I mean, I wasn't crying like how she was. I'm like, girl, okay, you just being ridiculous right now. But, I mean, what the fuck you crying for? Over that fake ass speech she gave from the teleprompter that was written for her? Like, I really wanted some real authenticity. That's basically what I want from these people. It's like, just be real. Just say, you know what? Whatever the situation was, how you was feeling that day, maybe it was that you wasn't feeling the greatest about yourself, but then you also said previously that you didn't care what people said about you being bald. And people running with that narrative, because it felt like to me when I was reading that she tried to equate the whole alopecia thing with what Chris Rock said. That's a narrative that the media and everybody was running with on social media. That's not where he was coming from with that. Because like I said before, and I would see people in posts online writing about that. And I was up in there with the rest of them being like, y'all ran with that fucking narrative. That is not what happened. Chris Rock is not sitting up in here being like, you know what? I heard Jada got alopecia. Let me make fun of her hair. He just saw this bald-headed ass woman in the front row and decided to make a stupid ass G.I. Jane joke because she was in his eye line, and she said that there was some, her eye roll and everything was because they had history apparently that Chris Rock was always, I guess, picking on her and this, that, and the third. And we all saw Will laugh until he looked at her face, and then the course correction. He decided, oh, trigger, I got to defend my wife. But you don't defend your wife by putting your hands on somebody, especially when you have someone like Will Packer, who was having this opportunity as a black man to produce the Oscars and bring a lot of blackness to the show. It was damn near I thought I was watching the BET Awards movie edition. That's what I thought I was almost watching. No shade, but I'm just saying that it was just, you felt the black excellence up in there that night. And here y'all go fuck this shit up. And now this one time got a stain on it because of his stupid ass actions. Because Will, for once in his life, was tired of being the punk. Punk. You know how we call the gays sometimes. A punk. You didn't want to be punked out on national TV. You got tired of being looked at as a punk. So he decided to step his pussy up. But we got a clip. So let me let y'all go to the clip. And then we'll come back with more of this. Roll it. Okay. Well, before you get to the clip, let me read this post from Bam's Brew Live. It's funny because there is a movie that has that scene almost word for word, and the way that slap was, I don't think it's too out of the realm of possibility that it was staged. No, a lot of people do believe that it's staged. I don't know. I don't believe it was staged. I do believe that Will got caught up in a moment. He saw her face. He jumped up there. He felt a ways, and then he couldn't back away because he was already on the stage. You already walked up there. You had to commit. You know, sometimes as an actor, you got to commit to the moment. You can't just be like, walk away. You can't back away because you would have seen him as a punk. So we had to commit. But anyway, let's get to the clip. We're finally ready now.
Now about Oscar night, my deepest hope is that these two intelligent, capable men have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile. The state of the world today, we need them both. And we all actually need one another more than ever. Until then, Will and I are continuing to do what we have done for the last 28 years. And that's keep figuring out this thing called life together.
I think I speak for a lot of black people. We are tired of hearing the Smith family bullshit. Save us all the trouble of your family bullshit.
What he said. So, and like I said before this whole Oscar slap thing happened, people was on one about them anyway. They was tired of her on that fucking table. They was tired of the bullshit, but now this happened. All of a sudden, y'all Team Will and Team Jada. Get the fuck out of here with y'all inconsistent asses and can't decide what it is that y'all want to do all of a sudden. Y'all so wishy-washy. I can't. I hope y'all drawers ain't wishy-washy. I hope y'all actually clean them and commit to them shits being clean instead of y'all just being I can't. I don't know. She a mess. I love old Jada, you know, Jada as in Peaches and Low Down to the Chain, Stoney from the Bronx, and Set It Off. I need that Jada back. I don't know who that Jada is. But child, if old Miss Cabbage and Tom Cruise and them got your soul in a jar somewhere in at the Scientology building in Hollywood, you just like blink twice in the next episode of Red Table Talk. We'll try to see if we can find somebody. Maybe we can get Leah Remini to go up and then get it for you. But anyway, okay, so we down to the first hour. Let's get to these last couple of topics, but I know we're going a little over it right now. So at this point, I don't know. To wrap this whole story up, I'm just at this point, you know what? It's accountability. Your man did something stupid. His shit's been postponed. Oh, I know. I was in LA and I see how that cult was. They was alive and well out there. They really be going hard on recruiting. Yeah, it's crazy how big of a cult Scientology is. But anyway, until these two can take accountability, I don't see y'all, you know, I don't know. I need for y'all to take some accountability for your actions. You can't just go smacking people and thinking y'all are still going to have a damn job the next day. That's not how the world works. We are in something called accountability culture. I don't believe in cancel culture. I call it accountability. So that's what that is. Okay, so let's move on to this whole thing. So, child, this whole Monique story, can I need her and that queen of a husband to go away? Because y'all getting on my goddamn nerves. She love us for real. Bitch, you's a lie. But anyway, to judge all this up, because I'm not going to spend all this time breaking this story down. I'm sure y'all have heard enough of it this week with every other blogger story, blogger, whatever you want to call it, writing about it, talking about it, giving their opinion on it. I don't give my opinion on it, but I'm going to sum it all up because this shit has lasted too damn long. This has been going on for almost a week. Why are we still talking about this? But I know it's why I'm asking you why are we talking about it, and I'm talking about it, right? Make it make sense. But anyway, so it all happened because I was minding my business like I always do because I was at my parents' house on Memorial Day barbecuing. Yes, bitch, I was behind the grill, the one with the propane behind it. Yeah, Miss Thing was up in there grilling, but my years at Shake Shack paid off. I ain't there no more, but Now I know how to flip a burger, honey. Without burning it. But anyway, so what had happened was I was minding my business. All of a sudden, I'm getting alerts. And I have a video of since we were talking about Vivica and was talking about she was talking about Will and Jada. She also gave her opinions on Monique, and Monique wasn't really happy with what Vivica said. And we're gonna get to that clip, but I want to kind of set everything up and get the ball rolling before we jump to that clip. Oh, and I got some breaking news, child, and it pertains to Steve Harvey. So tune in. So what happened was apparently there was a comedy special that happened, and Monique and D.L. Hughley were on the bill. Now, they had brought up some paperwork and some receipts and things about contracts, and it was all brought up on Instagram and was all, it was just a whole back and forth situation. What is it? She brought up her thing, and I'm trying to remember what was the other thing that, DL brought up a deal memo, which people were saying is basically a synopsis of whether, of how they're going to put the show together, this and the third. But when you look at the, the poster, when I was watching it, when I was looking at it, D.L. Hughley's picture was bigger and Monique's was smaller. And it said D.L. and Monique. So they were co-headlining, I think. So there was a lot of things going on there, which she was like, I don't open up for nobody. I'm a headliner, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So when you were on the Queens of Comedy, you on there by yourself? You were the big queen of the show? Because let's not have my girl from the talk tell the story on how none of y'all wanted her to be on the Queens of Comedy. And I don't want to mess up and make it seem like that maybe Monique was a part of it, but if I'm not mistaken, I think Monique was the only one who didn't have a problem with her being on the show. And I'll have to get to that too. So the thing with Monique, it was a back and forth thing that she brought DL's wife into the equation. Then she started making homophobic comments about, she basically started throwing gay on DL's name, talking about it was a corny ass joke, similar to Chris Rock with the bald head. Thank you, Cheryl Underwood from the talk. Then brought up the whole, talking about, DL must be down low. Sis, really? We going up in here questioning people's sexuality when quiet as it's kept, that man that manages you. You don't want people dragging him out that closet, child, because he gives me Lee Daniels tease when I be looking at her. Your husband junk. So let's not start dragging people out of closets if you don't want nobody rummaging through yours. Also, let's also not forget that if it wasn't for someone who was a part of the LGBTQ community, your career wouldn't be on the resurgence. Hey, T.S. Madison, because remember, you did an interview with her, and then she did an interview with Lee Daniels. which got the ball rolling when y'all rekindled y'all friendship after 13 years of you being blackballed. And I know you still waiting for Oprah and Tyler Perry and Netflix and Leonard, aka Charlamagne the God, and all these other people that you have problems with, which is what Steve Harvey alluded to. She called Steve Harvey a coon, said all kinds of stuff. Then started dragging DL's family into the equation. DL's daughter jumps in and says, "Keep my family's name out your fucking mouth." Yeah, you know I had to throw that up in there. It will. Keep my family's name out your fucking mouth. But that's what she was giving when she said it. And now there's all of this back and forth with them and all this other stuff. So it's still going at it. They're still going on. Vivica gave her opinion on it. I don't actually remember if I actually watched the episode because there's been so much going on this week. I was watching things and I'm like, did I watch that? Did I not watch it? Like, it's so much information. You know, I'm sure y'all understand. Like, there's so much information you're trying to retain that it's just like, did I watch that episode or did not watch it? Did I hear what she had to say about that or did I not hear it? I don't remember. Out of sight, out of mind, child. But we try to make information for the new information. We try to make room for the new information. So with that being said, oh, wait, because I want to read y'all Steve Harvey's situation. So during a Steve Harvey Morning Show discussion on Wednesday, he and his panel broached the topic after playing a clip of comments Monique made about Hughley and Harvey at the dispute spurring show in question. He said, "Let me just open by saying I could care less than about what you think about me because clearly I'm not your problem," Harvey said on Wednesday as heard starting around the 30-minute mark in the video they posted on various websites. Shout out to Complex for this story, by the way. And you know what? Anyone who knows me, who really knows me, can't even make that a statement. Late Harvey reflected on what he believes the mission of all stand-up shows is entertainment first and foremost. He also did some theorizing as to what may have transpired in this particular instance that have resulted in the confusion over each performance headlining status. He says her management, whoever he is, simply stated, "I got this gig, you co-headline. I promise you that's what was told." And that was incorrect information because DL put that contract online. He was 100%, he was 100% headlining. Co-headlining affects the money. If you're co-headlining, you're going to get the same cash. So what I was thinking was, it's the same thing. I do believe they were both chosen. You were headlining, you were headlining. And what it should have been was, y'all decide, okay, one day I'm a headline, the next day you headline. And this, and this, that, and the third. That's what y'all should have probably did. Instead of taking it to the fans that were watching and all this other stuff. And to me, in my personal opinion, she should have brought this behind the scenes. And this is why people look at Monique as, girl, you really need, like Bam's Brutal Live says, she needs to humble herself. And I think you need to. While I agree with where Black women, particularly if you're in the entertainment industry, are treated like the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to stuff. And I get your grievance on how you're treated. And you should be able to air out your grievances. But girl, if you're going to air them grievances out in a comedy show, let's not do a rant. Make the shit funny. That's what you should have did. But you didn't. Maybe you need to get a comedy writer because, boy, this is Kev. I ain't never thought Monique was fun to begin with. There's a long list of comedians that is out here making a little noise. I realize a lot of y'all ain't funny. I've noticed that. She one of them. Now, if y'all would have said some more, that'd have been different. Some more used to have me cracking up. Still does. Adele Gibbons used to always have me damn near peeing myself. There's a lot of female comedians out there that really gave it to me over the decades. Monique was never really one of them. I was entertained with her as an actress. I even think Steve Harvey at one point, or was it DL, that said that she's very much like her character that she played in Precious. And also Steve Harvey had an email leaked about how he treated his talk show staff. So there was a lot of things going on back and forth with him and how he's not the nice person. He was very much like how Ellen was saying she was. Oh, and shout out to Lori Harvey and Bakari. They broke up after 1 year of being together. So that was the breaking news I had to tell y'all. Yeah, Bakari's single again, girl. You know, that's Michael B. Jordan. That's what I wanted to tell y'all. So, but yeah. So this whole shit is a mess. But before we get to, me wrapping this story up, I want to play that clip that we have of Monique throwing shade at Vivica over giving her opinion, which she's paid to do on a talk show. Roll the clip.
So for those of you who had questions about how I handle my stage performance, listen, that's my stage performance, and I'm unapologetic about it, Vivica. I'm unapologetic about that stage that I go on.
Vivica who?
Vivica A. Fox. I'm unapologetic about what I do on that stage. What you are not is a stand-up comedian by far. So for you to have any questions about it, ask somebody that can really educate you on what that stage is, not someone that want to host and take female comedians around and get paid off of their craft. See, I don't mess with anybody, y'all.
And
yeah, Sydney, we don't give a damn what you have to say. You're not the talent. I don't know why he doesn't just sit behind the scenes and just focus on being her manager. What I get from those two is similar to the same thing that I got from Wendy Williams and Kelvin. Wendy finally woke her ass up and decided to leave that man when he brought in a baby because the man was cheating on her throughout their whole marriage, and she put up with it. She looked the other way. He was helping her with her career. He was basically that bulldog that was getting her what she needed in regards to the business. Excuse me. But as far as that relationship was, that shit was tumultuous. And I feel like there's a lot of similarities with Sydney and Monique. And to me, Monique gives me, I'm a strong black woman when it comes to performing, I'm working, whatever, but I really feel like there's some real low self-esteem going on behind that the eyes of that lady. So while she definitely deserves her flowers for the amount of work that she's put into this business over the years, the way that she and that husband of hers handle business is unprofessional and it's disgusting. And this is why it's like at the moment when you're about to see a resurgence in your career, you're doing everything. It looks like y'all about to sabotage that shit, and your career is about to end up in the toilet yet again. You must have really liked being blackballed. You about to crawl out of it after being blackballed for 13 years. You want to be blackballed again? I'm not saying that you need to shut up and sit back and just take whatever people throwing at you, but you really have to understand and learn how to navigate through this business. But I always come across so damn problematic. It can't be everybody else. I do wonder if she has still dealt with the traumas of her sexual assault that happened when she was younger. I think she was abused. I think her brother was abused, or her brother abused her. There was a lot of things that was going on in her family growing up. I don't know if she still unpacked a lot of the traumas of her childhood. And a lot of times what we as human beings do, we tend to bring a lot of our traumas from our childhood into our relationships, be it our friendships, our relationships, or whoever that we coincide with. Because remember that she got an open relationship. So what's going on between her and Sydney, they really need to get it together, because now you're going to put it in a place where it's like every time you do business and somebody does something that you don't like, you're going to air this shit out on social media and think the fans going to have your back, which is great. The fans can have your back and leave their comments and feel a kind of ways, but are they going to pay your bills? Are they going to get you a deal with are they going to get you these backroom deals or whatever the case is and negotiate your deals with these executives? No. What's a comment on Instagram? That shit gonna pay your bills, sis? And for you coming at Vivica, however, her opinion, whether you agree with her or not, her opinion is her opinion. Why all of a sudden this black woman's opinion is so fraudulent to you? Like, why does that bother you so much? People have said far worse. But it didn't stop, that never projected you to get your ass on Instagram with that husband of yours sitting next to you, wanting a moment in the spotlight and giving his opinion. So I was team Monique in the beginning, but she be doing too much. Like, I'm really starting to look at her as like, girl, you really are precious mama. No shade, but shade. Okay, so let's move on. This is to our number one story. So, like Amber Heard repealing her case against Johnny Depp, Tasha K is still repealing this shit and believes that she needs to be vindicated from having to pay $4 million that she don't have to Cardi B. So now, in case y'all need a refresher, in 2019, Grammy Award-winning Cardi B filed a lawsuit against YouTuber TASHA K over her lawyer, over one of the lawyers called malicious campaign to tarnish Cardi's reputation. Now, months ago, Cardi B won a $4 million judgment against TASHA K, who's 40, and was held liable for defamation, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. As previously reported, as part of her repercussions, TASHA was ultimately ordered to remove the defamatory video she posted online about Cardi, who was 29. On January 25th, TASHA K's lawyers released a statement about the verdict, saying they disagree with the verdict and they'll be filing an appeal. And then TASHA goes, my husband, attorneys, and I fought really hard. I want to thank them for their long hours and sleepless nights. Winos is only up from here. See y'all in a few days back to work. So they fought hard to cover a lie you admitted to. The only thing up from here, sis, is your time. And that's what a guy by the name of Tioni Spears wrote on social media. So while she has lied about everything else going on in this case and against other people, and if you ask a lot of people who TASHA, a lot of her blogging peers who are Black, TASHA K has done in many ways to try to sabotage and manipulate other people's careers. If y'all want the tea, you can ask a lot of people. You can ask Lovely T. You can ask T.S. Madison, which I found it relatively interesting how T.S. Madison would do an interview with her on her recent talk show when TASHA can't stand her. According to Armand Wiggins, shout out to him, he said on his show how around the time when she was pregnant, saying that she didn't want, and I'm probably paraphrasing, she didn't want T.S. Madison touching her stomach because she didn't want that juju on her baby. You know, her being transgender and everything. So she don't even like the LGBTQ community. She tolerates you if you're going to get her something. Or she can get something out of it. But she don't like y'all. Because the ugly bitch don't like herself. So I don't see what you're out here trying to appeal. You're guilty. You were proven to be a liar. You said that Cardi B had various STIs. She proved it in the courtroom that she didn't have it. But you're trying to say that you want to be vindicated. Girl, you've been proven to be a liar and a manipulator and a user. And I don't understand how she thinks that, so you got the money, you don't have $4 million to pay Cardi B, but you got money to appeal a case. Okay. I guess the wino's going to help you pay for it?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
And she said, no, ma'am. So, I don't know. So I'm just at this point, I don't see a case. I don't see TASHA winning. This is a waste of time. This is a waste of, this is just a waste of energy. It's a waste of taxpayer dollars. I don't understand why she's really trying to really vindicate herself in this. You've really been proven to be a liar. Like, that's all you do. I just feel like you're adding more salt to the wound. And I don't understand what her obsession with Cardi B is. I really don't. I don't understand what her total obsession with trying to come at Cardi B and go, and take her down. Like, I don't understand people who jump in this business to do that. I feel like, and I've said this many a times, even when I brought up on Drinks and Drag and many other places that I've talked about this topic, we as social media commentators, bloggers, those journalists, whatever degree that you are coming in doing this line of work, we all have a responsibility, morally, mostly morally, a moral responsibility, we'll just call it that, to come in and report the news as we see fit. If there's a story that's come out there, we're giving our opinion on those stories where we feel that y'all need to hear our take on those things. I feel for me, it's a responsibility for me. If I understand, a lot of times people will throw shade on a situation that, oh, you really need to have 6 or 60,000 subscribers or followers. And yeah, that's all great. But I'm not here to steal numbers or do all kinds of crazy shit with algorithms. I'm here to give y'all the story as it's intended, as the way it needs to be. If 30 people see this story or watch the show, or 30,000 people watch the show, as long as somebody watching it, my job is done. So that's what's more important. The numbers will come, the numbers will grow. And I think a lot of times people jump in this, and that's what I'm about to get to. A lot of people jump into this for that reason, that they want that instant fame, the instant the clicks, the likes, the attention, and all the, and then they'll come at you only got a certain amount of followers. You ain't nobody. At least I have somebody watching me, bitch. So, and it shouldn't matter about the number. It's funny how people always try to downgrade what you do based on, oh, you don't have this amount of stuff, so therefore you're not valid, you're not important. This person must be important because they got all these people watching. They're getting all this fame and all this accolades and all this money. My shit is valid. I've been doing this for 20 years. So, fuck a number, fuck an algorithm. There's a lot of politics that goes into that shit. But I work but say for me, you know, me doing this, I have more responsibility, and I work hard for every goddamn subscriber I get. And every comment. And every like. Shit. But anyway, on that note, I'm done with my little rant. We are going to go and take a quick gay break. When we come back, we're going to do some LGBT news, which is not a whole lot. So we're going to talk about, what are we going to talk about? Oh, we're going to discuss Billy Porter and Luke Evans are going to be in a movie together. Lil Nas X is going in on the BET Awards and a lack of support for the LGBTQ LMNOP community. Alaska from Drag Race is opening up about her feelings about not being included in the All Winners All-Star season. Lance Bass is opening up finally about being in the closet, you know, having pride and all that. Burger King supporting the gays. And we're going to talk about their latest campaign, which has people feeling a kind of way in regards to Pride Month. And Laverne Cox against a Brazilian politician who apparently has a problem with her doll. You know, she has a doll with Mattel and all this stuff. So we're going to talk about that. And so definitely stick around for those topics. A whole lot more. So don't go away. When we come back, we'll, Oh, we got breaking news about Mariah Carey. Ooh, y'all want to stick around with that too? So don't go away. We'll be right back with more of Kris Avalon Unfiltered.
Unfiltered, filtered, filtered, filtered.
signed up for the bad boys club. Did you think that was gonna be all straight people? Because to me, that's not even a straight man thing to call yourself a bad boy, unless you Curtis. Hey, Curtis! But nah, for real, the blatant homophobia is a buzzkill. You don't want the trans woman to be in a video because you didn't know she was trans. That tells me a lot about your life. I'ma always get a good meme out of Doreen. I like that we're using Carrion's expertise even though he took my girls to the Grand Canyon. This really how my son tried to make sure I left out his room so he could turn his TV back on at night. If this was a scene for black men in America's sympathy, it was lost. It was lost on me. I felt nothing. Every man's go-to for pink is Killer Cam. Y'all not Killer Cam. He was like, who that she bad? I was like, oh, that's Bestie. This one right here was a key because she like, oh yeah, y'all look familiar, ma'am. You were showing them your ass last night and today somehow you're showing them garments. We're confused. Word of the month is lingering. Okay.
Unfiltered, filtered, filtered.
Oh, we back, girl. I was sitting there reading this article. Sorry. Oh yeah, we didn't play the. Did we play the? We didn't play the commercial. I sent you. Anyway, so while I have it in, I got the iPhone 13 let me read y'all this article. So apparently, before we get to the LGBT stuff, because that was telling you about the whole Mariah Carey thing. So Mariah's being sued for $20 million, which is 16 billion in pounds, over the UK, for copyright infringement for her festive hit song "All I Want for Christmas Is You." The single, who's 53, released a track in '94 as part of her album "Merry Christmas," but she and her co-writer Walter Afanasieff have been accused of copying the track. The lawsuit filed by Annie Stone at the U.S. District Court in the Eastern District of Louisiana alleges that the song was taken from one of the same name that he co-wrote for Vincent Vance of the Valiants in 1989 and never gave permission for it to be used. In the documents obtained by PA, Stone states that Carey and her collaborators knowingly, willfully, intentionally engaged in a campaign. I'm done reading this foolishness. And I'm going to tell you why. Why the fuck this motherfucker wait damn near 30 years later to file a lawsuit when this song been out for that long? Why didn't you file it back in the 90s? I'm just wasting my time with this damn lawsuit. Get out of here with this foolishness. Anyway. So while it is breaking, he ain't got a rat's chance in hell of winning. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay, so moving right along, because shout out to Mariah Carey. She got a lot going on. Isn't her brother also suing her over something that she wrote in her book about him? I don't know. But anyway, let's move on to the rest of the topics. So let's talk about Billy Porter, who's busy a lot lately. Pretty busy. Kudos to him for being busy. I know I saw the trailer for his directorial debut that's about to come out, I think, next month, where there's a boy that falls in love with a young trans girl. But the name escapes me right now because I don't have that information in front of me. That's not the story I want to talk about. But the story I do want to talk about is how Billy Porter and Luke Evans, from Nine Perfect Strangers, he was a Dracula Untold. He played one of the villains in, he played Jason Statham's brother in one of the Fast and Furious movies. It was Owen Shaw. Well, anyway, Luke Evans and Billy Porter have signed on to star in the drama called Our Son from director Bill Oliver. Now, the film was written by Oliver and Peter Nickowitz and will follow a divorcing couple fighting for custody of their 8-year-old son, Fernando Luero, Francis Ha, and Guillermo Coelho, Orphans of El Dorado, will produce via their company Tigresa, along with Eric Binns, okay, that's all that shit Deadline loves putting in there. And y'all know that Billy Porter, has been in a lot of things, and Luke Evans. I do think this is a good thing because you want to know something? For years, I've been saying, I've had this idea that they should do, one of the things I've grown up watching because of my mother was the Lifetime channel. Why don't we get a lot of that, but kind of with a gay twist on it? A lot of drama and all that stuff that goes on. I do think that would be great to see, especially in this day and age where, now that so many gays want to get married and have families and this, that, and the third, And now that they want to put that question on us, when you get married, when you having kids, one of the things I love about being a homosexual was the fact that I didn't have to worry about that stuff. I didn't have to worry about having to follow the confines and put my stuff within the whole LGBT, well, what straight heteronormative people, what was considered heteronormative ideas and what straight people were doing. We didn't have to worry about that. Now I understand, like, one of the things of, okay, if we were in a long-term relationship and our partner passed away, that we would want to be able to get benefits or be there for them to hold their hand when they passed away, whatever the case is, or take care of our partner, which is what a lot of gay people, why I guess they wanted the whole marriage equality. But to put all the heteronormative stuff on it, as long as you make your relationship yours, that should be all that matters. And there should be ways to protect people that if you want to give your benefits and pass them down to your partner, that sort of thing. So with all this marriage going on, I'm like, yeah, I would love to see a movie about a gay couple fighting over custody of their child and going through a bit of divorce and seeing those same things that straight people deal with. So I'm here for this movie. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And look, I'm jealous. This motherfucker gets to kiss all over my future husband, Luke Evans, fine ass. So sexy as man. But anyway, you stop being a whore. And let's move on to the next topic. So Lil Nas X is reacting to receiving 0 BET nominations. And he ain't here for this shit. Now, they did release the list of nominees. I personally care less. But apparently they have Doja Cat leading the list of nominees with 6. And I believe Drake also has a bunch of nominations as well. But he took to social media to show his grievance over the situation. Saying, thank you, BET Awards, outstanding 0 nominations again. Black excellence. And then, of course, we had to jump in and go, what have you put out? Because clearly he's been living under a rock. Well, actually, let me just give you the whole thing what he said, because here we go with this bullshit. Because I always want to leave with this crap. Happy Pride, by the way. Queen's Pride is tomorrow if y'all in New York. What have you put out? And don't use that gay-ish as an excuse. Don't nobody care no more. Okay, Queen, clearly you did because you brought it up. He goes, I don't know, maybe 3 of the biggest songs of last year and a critically acclaimed album, Sunny T. I felt like that should have helped me a bit. He also added, not even that even have to be me nominated. I just feel like Black gay people have to fight to be seen in a world, and even when we, in this world, and even when we make it to the top, MFs try to pretend we are invisible. And to that I have to say, Montero is absolutely 1000% right. I can't tell you how many times I've had this conversation. I can't tell you how many times I've had this conversation when I've had conversations with my production, when I've had conversations with EJ. Y'all know who that is. We've done our little shows together, and he produces the show as well. And his partner DJ, who does weekly top 40, which is basically a top 40 countdown featuring LGBTQ artists, most of color, mostly Black. We've had this conversation millions of times. How BET and a lot of these networks will not support and give light to queer artists. A lot of y'all don't support it. And you'll wonder why a lot of these artists are quick to run over to the Grammys for that white validation, because you niggas won't support your fucking own. That's why. I hate having to get pissed off with this shit, but sometimes I feel like it needs to happen. A lot of y'all love when we making y'all look good behind the scenes, when we ghost writing a lot of y'all lyrics, when we making y'all look good behind, with outfits and your hair and makeup, when we're set designing your music videos, when we're directing your music videos, we are using our lingo and our fashions and all this, that, and the third, but y'all don't never want to give us a seat at the goddamn table. So we're at a point where we have to take it. Lil Nas X has to, I guess, settle for a GLAAD Media Award, which is not bad. At least the gay community is acknowledging him. Although some people would not consider Nas to be real hip hop. He is in the hip hop family, the category, but he is kind of more on the pop side. So apples and oranges. But for the most part, this does happen. While I guess we go a step forward with BET Plus airing B-Boy Blues finally. So if y'all want to see that, June 9th, it's going to be on BET Plus. The directorial debut of Jussie Smollett. It finally has a home. But for us to actually have a seat at the table, do this, and it was great that, you know, BET Awards let Nas perform at the show. It was a little controversial. I'm sure y'all were looking for the controversy because y'all needed it. And people were complaining, of course, because y'all act like y'all ain't never seen two men kiss before. But for the most part, I still agree with it. Y'all don't want to support us when we need the support. So I don't know if I'll even be watching the BET Awards this year. I don't even know who's on it, quite frankly. I think it comes out at the end of the month. Like, I think every time, and this is the funny part, I think BET Awards always air the last Pride of June, like the big Pride parade in New York. I think it always airs that day. So, joke's on y'all, I guess. BET. And shout out to Lil Nas. Oh, we talked about this before. But there's a rapper who agreed with Lil Nas X, an iconic rapper, who agreed with with what Lil Nas X had to say, and that rapper is none other than Queen Latifah. So she shared her thoughts with TMZ because, you know, TMZ loves to train out every rapper they can think of to get in the ping whenever somebody black says something. So she goes, Lil Nas X is amazing. He should have been nominated. Despite this, Latifah didn't seem to think that his sexuality was behind the snub. She said, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know what's behind all that, but inclusion is always the key. That's what he should be striving for. There's enough room in this world for everybody. Well, we've been saying that there's enough room for everybody in the business for years. However, the media seems to not be able to catch up with the rest of the world. So, until the media decides to catch up with the rest of us, continue to get left behind because the rest of the world is going to continue to evolve while y'all try to stick to these old ways of how, old mentality and thinking of what people should be doing and how they should be reacting to shit. So, shout out to you, Dazzy, and fuck the BET Awards. You don't need a shitty ass award. And speaking of another person who's airing their grievances over not being included in something, let's talk about Drag Race icon Alaska Thunderfuck, who revealed her true feelings about not being invited. What? Okay. So as one of the biggest stars that have come out of Drag Race or out of RuPaul's Drag Race, you know, she made it to the final of her season. And then, which I believe was season 5, I believe. And then she won All Stars 2. Oh no, season 5 was Sharon Needles, right? Yeah, season 5 was Sharon Needles. Season 6 was she was on the season with Bianca. Bianca won. She didn't win. Right? No. Fuck. What am I talking about? She was on the season with Alaska was on the season with Jinx Monsoon. Why am I'm like bugging. What am I talking about? Because I interviewed her at the finale. And that's what I asked her where she get the name Alaska from. She was like, I was stoned, period. And that was her answer. I remember like it was yesterday. But anyway, so the new season of All Stars is the winners only Queen of Queens competition featuring Drag Race royalties such as Raja, who, sidebar, y'all continue to keep robbing her every week. Y'all give her flowers on her drag. You don't give her flowers, and you know, and fuck Bala Chachki with her shady ass, trying to act like she about some shit on fashion review or whatever. She don't know what the fuck she talking about on there. I don't care how tight the bitch cinches her waist. She don't know what the fuck she talking about. But we get it. Basic white people, y'all want to continue to, you know, give her flowers and y'all can do that. But she's tired. Anyway, so y'all continue to disregard Raja's talent every week and still haven't given her the badge that she's supposed to get. But nevertheless, Jinx Monsoon, Shea Coulee, and Monet Exchange were reviewing the season premiere of her podcast, Race Chaser. Alaska first competed in season 5, finishing as runner-up to Jinx. It's funny how I couldn't even remember that, but I just watched the season not so long ago. Revealed she was very apprehensive going into the season. She added, because when I wasn't asked to be on it, I was very, very emotional, and I was very, very hurt and sad by that. So I was like, is this going to be too hard? Is it going to be really difficult for me to even watch and talk about it? Then she described All-Star 7, which we will see no weekly elimination for the first time in Drag Race history, as incredible, adding, I'm so glad that this is happening with these girls, with the energy of nobody is going home, everybody is just delivering. Effing home run after home run. Alaska's podcast co-star and fellow Drag Race alum, Willem, offered a theory as to why she wasn't asked to compete, saying they want you competing against Sharon Needles, and Sharon Needles is not allowed on TV right now because people would scream and protest, likely referring to a 2020 report that accused drag performer Needles of abusing a 15-year-old fan. Sharon's real name Aaron Cody has not publicly commented on the story or the allegations. William continued by saying, so once she's allowed on TV again, maybe in a few years, you'll be back to compete with her, because they want that personal relationship between you two on display, and they can't do that right now. So that's why you were not asked to be there. You want to know something? It actually is a pretty interesting theory, though, by the way, that they probably would want to keep, because that would be great drama. However, I'm enjoying watching Drag Race without all that crazy drama, the fighting and stuff. Like, I love the fact that these girls are really in it to win it, and I really hope in the future that they're real careful with the queens that they pick to be on. I hope they keep this format of All Stars. Give it like some sort of point system. Nobody goes home. Just pick like 8 to 10 girls a season for All Stars. Really own that in and have them show off. Look, these girls are spending so much money on a lot of the runways and a lot of the things they're doing on the show. And I really feel like if you don't send, I realized watching the show that the energy is different. And it also could be like the chemistry between the girls, and they already know how the game is played. But for the most part, when nobody goes home, it forces you to really want to work and really want to put in the work and really, put your best foot forward in making everything happen the way it needs to happen. And to see that these girls are really stepping it up in regards to the challenges. So I realize the energy is different. When there's that pressure of being sent home, it's very stressful. And I feel like it affects those of us watching the show. Like, I'm not even entertained by it. I kind of get a headache watching it. So I hope that they keep this dynamic. I hope they keep this format. Okay, so let's talk about Lance Bass, who is opening up about the time he was closeted. So now in a new interview with Today's Parents, single Lance Bass, because he got kids with his husband now, single Lance Bass is once again opened up about the unique challenges he faced as a closeted member of the boy band NSYNC and being outed by a reporter in 2006. Was it Perez Hilton? To protect himself in the beginning of his career, Bass says he created persona as the shy one in the band to keep from talking too much about his personal life. Saying, during big interviews, I wouldn't speak because I felt people would figure me out, the 43-year-old recalls. So I became the quiet one. That's the personality that I created so that I wasn't expected to talk much. Whenever he was asked about his love life, he gave the canned answer about being too busy touring with NSYNC to focus on a relationship. Saying, I went through a major depression for years, and to this day I still struggle. Do I have PTSD from hiding a secret for as long as I did? I don't know. I don't know exactly what damage was caused by staying in the closet. It wasn't until after NSYNC concluded their final tour in 2002 that Bass says he finally felt free to live a more authentic life. In 2006, he was out at a gay bar in P-Town when someone recognized him. I was waiting online for the bathroom, and this guy recognized me and says, "You're gay?" And I go, "Yeah," Bass recalls. It was the first time I told a stranger I was gay and it felt amazing. It was such a relief. Unfortunately, the singer turned out to be a reporter who said they were going to expose Bass with or without his cooperation. He had 48 hours to decide. So that's when he basically went on People magazine and pretty much put his tea out there. Now, this is when it happened with, in July 12th of 2006, Page 6 ran a blurb about Bass being spotted with Amazing Race star Ryken Lemkool at Atlantic House, a gay bar in P-Town. Now, if y'all know who Ryken Lemkool is, he was also on that show, The A-List. It was also around the same time that celebrity gossip blogger Paris Hilton started referring to Bass as Princess Frosty Locks while speculating about his sexuality. The singer eventually came out publicly in an exclusive interview with People in 2007. He told Attitude, 2 years before I came out, I was really bullied on the internet by bloggers. That's when Paris Hilton just started and was just really malicious against me. That's when I think I started doing blogging. I started doing it around 2007, 2008. That's 14 years, almost 15 years. That's a long damn time, child. Well, yeah, 2000, was it? 2008, 2018, that's 10 years. Yeah. 14, 15 years. But anyway, you know what? One of the things is, he's been able to live in his truth. Congratulations to him on doing that. But you know what? It's fucked up how this industry treats gay people. And you have to realize, I know a lot of people don't really see it, but in those days, you really could not be out and proud. Kind of how y'all see a lot of these artists are out here really and being openly queer. There was a handful of people that were able to do that. Lance Bass could not do that. He was busy with NSYNC and doing all this stuff. And of course, this is like he was in his 20s. So you're still going through that trial and tribulation trying to figure out who you are and how do you navigate through that. And I'm sure a lot of y'all read that story on my Facebook. Funny how this whole thing goes full circle. A certain actor, I ain't gonna start outing people, but there's a certain actor that was spotted at Lance Bass's club in West Hollywood, and he apparently was making out with a couple of dudes. And now, is this is kind of giving me that situation of, do you want people to kind of, is this your way of you want to come out, or you want people to kind of put out there? Or maybe that the impact is a lot different now. Maybe it's that people really don't care. For the most part, people don't care much. We get, oh, you gay, and it's kind of like that's kind of like that image that Bad Boys is trying to put out, which I have to say, since that last fight where Jonathan was going around beating people with chairs and shit, like this is WrestleMania Part 2000, I actually stopped watching the show. And I'm really glad that EJ played that clip before, talking about, Moolah, who I think needs to come all the way out the closet. I don't know why Zeus is even trying to entertain the idea of giving him a Bachelor type show. Like, we know what he really like, and it ain't got a cat trap between his legs. So I don't understand. Like there was like that scene really bothered me that I saw online about how y'all was showing people in pictures and stuff, and he was thinking she was cute until Relly decided to reveal, oh, I know her. She's a beautiful trans woman and something else. Then all of a sudden he changes too. Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to like that. Y'all gonna think I'm gay. You gonna think I'm into. It's that mentality. I don't got time for that. Like, we still doing this shit in 2022, and you got Zeus that were perpetuating the worst stereotypes of the queer community, and heifers like them participating in that shit for a check. That's why I had to stop watching. I was like, I can't with these fools on there. So that girl in that TikTok video said what she said. And my thing with Lance Bass, I'm glad you're getting to live your truth now, but I could totally see that, you know what, a lot of, even when you come out of the closet, and I think that's something we don't talk about, unpacking a lot of those emotional traumas that we deal with why were we in the closet so long? What was, you know, and all those situations that we deal with, like, was it that, is it still affecting me? Even though I'm in a marriage, I've got a child, I'm opening businesses, and this, that, and the third. Have I not completely dealt with a lot of those emotional traumas? So these are things that we definitely are things that need to be unpacked and talked about. So let's talk about Burger King. So Burger King Austria got a new Pride Whopper, and people are equating it with, are saying that they find a little something weird about it. So apparently they have two of the top buns and two of the bottom buns are on different burgers. So people are saying that they're equating it with two tops and two bottoms. Which, honestly, I don't think that's what they're doing. So, to kick off Pride Month, the brand Burger King Austria took to Instagram to share photos of their special seasonal Pride Whoppers with a retro rainbow background and the words "Time to be proud," with large things are off to a good start. But then we took a little closer look at the burgers, and like I stated, they have two top buns and two bottom buns. What I didn't know was that the buns are called crowns and heels. That's what it's all about. So the bottom of the bun is called the heel. The top of the bun is called the crown, because Burger King. I'm actually thinking that it's a cheeky thing. Like I think it's a joke, meaning they're just poking fun, which, you know, we gays are all about the camp. I don't think it has to do with two tops and two bottoms. I think what this is basically equality, meaning same buns, same sex. That's what I'm getting from it. So you get two of the same buns. It's two of the same buns getting together and canoodling, eating, you know, something with the same bun on it. Like, that's what I got from it. Same sex, equality. That's what I'm taking. I'm not tops or bottoms. Y'all think too much about fucking. Why do you think I'm about fucking? Even I don't fuck my food. I know there's some people into that. Shout out to Down in a Half Weeks. But yeah, but nevertheless, I think y'all are reaching too much with this. I think and what I did not know, because we've been bombarded with so much queer, like, you know, whenever June 1st come, and, you know, all of a sudden every organization is all about pride and wanting to put a pride flag up in their building because they want to act like, oh, we want that gay dollar. Then July 1st come, and all of a sudden the flag is gone again. So I don't think from what I've always heard, that Burger King has always been pro-LGBT. So there's that. Shout out to Lanier, who wrote, "A big thing now I see via OnlyFans are straight guys claiming to be pushing their limit to lure in a gay following." So that might be the situation of the actor at Lance's club. Well, I think we had that conversation about said actor who was, I mean, if he's doing that, then he was kissing on a couple of menses up in there and didn't want his picture taken. He was making out, and I told you he was the one that he likes black men. He's a former Disney child in a musical at a high school. And that's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's move on. So I don't see this as a big deal. People are reaching, doing too merch. I like the burger. I would try it if they actually did that in New York. They would never do that in America. Y'all too fucking uptight. Anyway, so let's move on to this whole situation with Laverne Cox, because we got a few minutes left in the show. So longtime toy and entertainment company Mattel recently announced that it is releasing a special edition Barbie doll of Laverne Cox, making it the first ever Barbie doll to honor and be inspired by a trans woman. But since then, right-wing Brazilian congressman, first of all, you're not even from this country, why the fuck are you talking? Otoni de Paula has shared deeply transphobic and wildly inaccurate remarks, lashing out against the doll and Mattel itself, when they should be worrying about their own stuff going on in Brazil. And I'm sure that list is long, but you focus on the damn doll. Now, the tirade has happened ever since he announced the doll, stating, "It's a huge absurdity. Mattel, the company behind the making of Barbie dolls, which have been a part of the history of our children, is now releasing a Barbie with a penis." Really? Cause last time I checked, Barbie don't even got body parts. Like, have you never looked at a naked Barbie doll? I used to strip my sister's dolls all the time when I was a child. But let me continue. The congressman said in a hateful message translated from his original Portuguese, which was posted to his Instagram. No, you didn't hear it wrong. This Barbie doll will come with a penis. This doll will honor what they call a trans woman. He continued, this is an imposition of the ideology of gender and gay activism over our children. Attention fathers, mothers, uncles, aunts, grandfathers, and grandmothers, do not buy any more Barbie dolls, as she is being used by gay activists to impose the ideology of gender over the minds of our children. Child. I'm so over people always trying to weaponize and use children. First of all, I think if anybody should be more upset, it's Laverne, because that doll looked nothing like her. That's what I'd be more upset about. And I know a lot of people were saying that Laverne is not the first trans woman to have her own doll. I think she is with Mattel. I know Amanda Lepore has a doll. I believe Jazz Jennings has a doll, but I don't think they have it with Mattel. I think we have to be specific as to with the company. But this is some bullshit. Like, this congressman saying this buffoonery and using these, these weapons all of a sudden. It's funny how y'all only care about the kids when it suits your bullshit agenda. And you trying to hold a whole situation about it. If you ever looked at a doll, a Barbie doll, even a Ken doll, have you ever seen a dick on a Ken doll? Now, if we were talking about the Billy doll, and what was the other one, the black one? What's his name, Tyson? Those had dicks. I remember them dolls. And I remember back in the day, I wanted one so damn bad. That was around the time when they created the RuPaul doll. So, you saying this is that typical bullshit that politicians like to pull to push for an agenda or maybe a smoke screen over whatever shady shit that they doing in their own country. Like, he's giving me Donald Trump, DeSantis, all that foolishness with that, because I heard he recently trying to file some shit against the Special Olympics. Like, this man is worse than Satan. So, Laverne, pay this heifer no mind. You continue to get your doll and you go out there and save and, do what needs to be done with that doll, and fuck him. And another thing, before we go, I wanted to hit on this real quick because I know we probably got like 3 minutes left. There was a story I know that I wanted to put on here, but Carrie Hilson being criticized for performing on a small stage at a Black Pride event. To me, y'all criticizing the stage is stupid. She performed at the Hard Rock Cafe in Washington, D.C. for Black Pride. And she performed her top hits. But the stage, I have to say, was real tiny. And my thing is this. Regardless of the size of the stage, at least she's performing. At least she's getting to do what she's doing. And for y'all to sit up in here talk about Carrie Hilson needs to post her birthday party rates, it looks like a fun time. Or whose house is this? Even Saucy Santana and Jocelyn booked a bigger stage to her. But y'all start saying something like, to me, that's just some bullshit. And she goes, you have no idea what hateful words could do to someone's spirit. Years of verbal abuse from strangers all day long. Enough is enough. I'm here for my fans. I'm stronger than you imagine. But waking up, going to bed to your ugliness is just too much. And people continue to bully her over what happened with Beyonce and this and the other. That ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Beehive, go find something to do. Beyonce ain't thinking about that girl. And she said that her and Beyonce have moved on. If they moved on, y'all need to move the fuck on too and stop buzzing about some bullshit. Last but not least, also, Congressman probably wants to do the doll like termite on the boys. Oh no. Not that scene. Because I have to say, I'm still traumatized by that scene. Kind of like the Moolah situation. If y'all haven't seen The Boys season premiere on season 3, I'm not going to spoil it, but y'all will know what we're talking about with that scene with the termite and the dick and that shit. But anyway, so yeah, I think a lot of times these men are entranced in the beauty of a lot of these trans women. They can't take it. They're like, well, what does this mean about me and my sexuality, this, that, and the other? It means you like a beautiful woman. Doesn't mean you're gay. It doesn't mean any of that stuff. But the more you people educate yourselves on what goes on with the trans community, the better off you'll be. But on that note, we're going to tie this up and say, we're done. Thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. Thank you all for watching, and to those of you also for tuning in and commenting during this live show. Like I said, we'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Love you all for watching. Till next time, ciao, done.
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
Unfiltered, filtered, filtered, filtered.